welcome back to the Engler Journey podcast. I am your host, Olivia Vanderford, and today I have the pleasure of being with someone who has taken communications to the next level, Madison Kreifels. It's so nice to have you here today.
Thanks, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and you've been doing so many things in your life, so many cool things. You just got engaged to Seth Wright.
Yes.
And he is the owner of Scrappy Woodworks, right?
Yeah.
So cool that you found each other here in the Engler program, and that you just resigned from your job and are going full-time with InfoFilm right here in the Engler program. So could you talk a little bit about your Engler experience and how you decided to become an entrepreneur?
Yes, so I guess flashback, when I was in 7th grade, this long story, so get ready for it.
Okay.
When I was in 7th grade, I applied for a grant through the National FFA program to start my SAE, my Supervised Agricultural Experience Project. And with that, I got $1,000 to start my own business, which isn't your typical 7th grade desires or drive, but with that I started my first business, which was Madison's Farm Fresh Sweet Corn. And with that I basically just grew sweet corn in my backyard and sold it to people of my hometown of Syracuse, Nebraska. And I continued that for about 6 years until I graduated high school, and I passed it down to my younger brother, who now it's passed down to my youngest brother, which is kind of crazy how far that business has taken me and my siblings. But I knew that I had a passion to start something, and this passion for entrepreneurship. And with that, I applied for the Engler Entrepreneurship Scholarship my senior year of high school. Still didn't totally know what Engler was, but you know, you're a senior looking at college head on, and so trying to get any kind of scholarship that I wanted to apply for. And with that, I was able to meet Tom Field, the director of the program, and really opened my eyes to what the Engler program has to offer. It's not your typical college club or extracurricular, I'd say. It's very community focused and driven, very student driven. The staff here are more guiders rather than your typical professor, which is something I truly appreciate, because it really allows you to step outside of your comfort zone and just learn things, make your own mistakes and learn things the way you would in the real world, not necessarily somebody holding your hand the whole time. But I jumped in right away as a freshman at college with Tom's 101 class, continued, and now it's kind of sad because I filled up all of my Engler credits already. But then when I was taking 388 with Dave Lamb, I really figured out, like, okay, there's not the ideal career out there that would fit all of my wants, all of my passions. It's not out there, or it's not available right now. So then I turned to entrepreneurship the fall of my sophomore year of college. And I was taking 388 with Dave, and I knew I was passionate about entrepreneurship, about agriculture, about sharing passions with people. Like, I could talk to somebody all day, every day about what they're passionate about, because that's where they get their drive to want to do good in the world. And so I have this list of things that I want to do in my career, and through 388 with Dave, I was able to figure out that I could start a business with all of these passions. And that's what led to the launching of InfoFilm in October of 2023. And since then, it's kind of been a whirlwind of connections, working with clients, and just constantly filling my bucket, which has been one of the most rewarding things that I've done here on campus. Like, you're able to work with people every single day about what they love, so it's not like you're ever tired. You know, you keep getting energy because it's just like bouncing off of everybody else. You fill up your bucket, they fill up theirs. So essentially with InfoFilm, I go out to different agricultural producer operations and share their story. Why are they passionate about what they do? Who's all involved in their operation? Is it a family operation? Is it something where you bring in like all your best friends and you created something for yourselves? And just being able to hear everybody's testimonies, everybody's stories, and really the community aspect of everything has been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, InfoFilm is so cool, and to me, I'm in ag communications too, so I think just sharing people's stories in agriculture is so interesting. What is like one of your favorite times you've done InfoFilm, or one of your favorite interviews or videos you've done?
Yeah, so there's a lot of them. I think within the first 6 months of InfoFilm up and running, I worked with over 14 different clients, which was kind of crazy. It felt like life was moving 1,000 miles a minute in all the best ways possible. But I feel like some of the best stories, this is a hard question because there's so many amazing people that I've worked with. I actually just finished filming one it was my first hometown video shoot, and it was for the Foss family, which they moved to Syracuse really to start their family and start something within agriculture. So they started a direct-to-consumer beef business. And the reasoning that they wanted to start this was to really build community and teach their 3 young kids the meaning behind hard work and raising livestock. So our values aligned. It was like picture-perfect story. You're starting a family operation from the ground up. But then in the summer of 2021, Eric, the dad starting the operation, was in a farming accident, helping his daughter show her cattle at the fair, at the Otoe County Fair in my hometown. And now Eric has a disability that's going to follow him the rest of his life, but the fire in this family's belly is incredible because they don't let that disability stop them from fulfilling their passions. They still run their direct-to-consumer beef business. They actually bought another feed business to help keep their family up and running and still building community. But it's just an incredible testimony. The Foss family has an incredible testimony to having that passion and not swaying from the values that built their business in the first place, and that built their family. So not only am I able to showcase all of these amazing stories with all my clients, but I'm also constantly inspired by their drive and the obstacles that they've had to overcome. And it's just really motivating for me in these first stages of building my business.
Yeah, so InfoFilm is more than just promoting agriculture. It's making an impact on families and what they love. Yeah, so could you talk about the Engler program and some of the experiences you've had being on the experienced team and some of the mentors you've had within the program?
Yeah, I cannot thank the Engler program enough for who it's shaped me into the person I am today. I constantly am trying to give back to this program just because leaders before me helped impact the person who I am now, so I want to do that for kind of this next generation. So one of those ways is through serving on the experience team. And basically, so you have the recruitment team, which focuses on students that are incoming, like recruiting new students into our program. You have the exec team, which works with more futuristic planning, like what's our 5-year plan look like. And then you have the experience team, which focuses on the current students in the program. What events are we going to be planning? How are we going to really focus on building internal community? So it's not just your typical college campus community, but more of that family aspect. And serving on the experience team has been incredibly rewarding and filling my bucket because I am able to, it's honestly like what I do in my business too. I can talk to people about their passions all day, every day. And when you have a new freshman come into the program at your welcome back event and they just can't stop talking about what they're so excited to do in their next 4 years, that is what makes me the happiest because you're able to see and talk to so many people with this incredible vision that they have for themselves and give them the tools they need to achieve it, give them the mentorship they need to help achieve it. And one of the mentors that I've had through the Engler program, all of staff serves as a huge mentor, but one specifically for me is Dave Lamb. I meet with him every single week, sometimes more than that, just because I need to rant about something or I'm seeking advice, which one thing about Dave is he never tells you what to do, which is so funny. I remember this past fall of 2023, it's right when my business was starting. I had a good chunk of clients underneath my belt, and I was making the decision to either move out of state for an internship or stay in state for my internship. And I walked out of that. I probably spent close to an hour and a half, 2 hours in his office. He had no idea I was coming and that I was going to take up that much time, but that's okay. And I walked out with my decision, and I think he just listened and nodded his head the whole time and just let me talk about what I wanted to do and accomplish. And it's just, like, you can find people like that in the Engler program that will take time out of their day to help guide you to your goals, what you want to accomplish, and also help you stick to your core values that you walked into these 4 walls with. And that's probably one of the biggest things that is super incredible and inspiring about this program.
Yeah, and then are there any like community events that you really enjoyed, or for students coming into the program, what would you tell them about becoming an entrepreneur and some of the challenges that you faced with that? So some of the community things and some of the challenges as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start with challenges, especially for those incoming students. So in my scenario, I was an entrepreneur, but I knew I wasn't going to continue that business. And there are so many students that I talk to that are like, oh, I love the Engler program, but I don't have a business. And you don't need to have a business to be a part of this program. Like, this program teaches you the mindset of an entrepreneur and then gives you the connections to fulfill whichever path your business goes down. A lot of students in the program are actually going to be agriculture education teachers, and they're taking what they learn in the Engler program and applying it to the classroom. So I don't want that big, scary, I need to have a business thing going on in like new incoming students' minds, because that's not what it is. Like, this place is to help grow you as an entrepreneur, not necessarily these high expectations of you need to have a business when you walk through these doors. As I continue my business, I would say some of these challenges, like, it comes down to time. Like, when you're in the Engler program, you're a full-time student, you're a business owner in some cases, you volunteer in some cases, you're involved in other things. So learning how to balance time, and then also learning when to give things up. Knowing when to say, no, I don't have time for that on my plate, which is something hard for me because I'm a people pleaser. And honestly, most people in the Engler program are people pleasers, is what I've been learning, which is incredible. Like, we love people who are willing to sacrifice for others, but at the same time, you have to find the balance of what's going to benefit me and my career goals and my personal goals, what aligns with my values, and what doesn't. So really taking a step back and realizing it's okay to take a breath for yourself. It's okay to do stuff for yourself versus constantly giving to other organizations, because there's like over 1,000, probably way more than that, student organizations here on campus. So it's hard to find that balance, but once you get in the groove of everything, that's when it becomes a little less chaotic. Reflecting back on Engler events, especially on serving as an experienced team member, and it's honestly just been one of my favorite events since I've been a part of Engler, but we host Fireside every fall, and basically with that we have all of these different entrepreneurs come in to the Engler program space, and we have roundtable discussions, we have one-on-one discussions, and it's just a night of innovation, it's a night of inspiration, and you walk away like incredibly motivated to start making some groundwork and traction in your business or on the mindset side of things. It's really hard to explain. You have to like walk into the space to really feel the energy and walk away with it. But I think last year we had around 50 entrepreneurs outside of the Engler program come in, and then it's probably our highest in attendance for students-wise that come to Fireside. But it's just an incredible night where entrepreneurs get to do what they love and help mentor young students.
Yeah, so the Engler program has so many different opportunities for students coming in. Could you also talk about Paul Engler and the impact he had on your life?
Yeah, so Paul is an incredible man. I actually had the privilege of interviewing him my freshman year of college, which was really cool because I got to basically be like locked in a room with this guy for like 2 hours, which was only scheduled to be 45 minutes. But I'm not complaining at all because he just had so many great stories to tell. And he's a man of many talents, and he started the Engler program later on in his life. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it was like one of his last big creations before he passed away. But I know he talked to Tom Field like a week leading up to his passing, and he said that this program was what he was most proud of. The Engler program on the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's campus is the thing he's most proud of. And this man has started like worldwide company, like Cactus Feeders he started, and so many other incredible things. And it all started here in small town Bassett, Nebraska. And he was able to continue the tradition of being an entrepreneur and leave his legacy through the Engler program, through a huge investment to get us started. And we've slowly been able to grow this from a tiny little room that nobody else wanted to now the upstairs of the Dinsdale Learning Commons, and it's just going to continue to grow. We had our biggest freshman 101 class this fall. We've always had 2 sections, and now we opened it to 3, and they're all full.
Wow.
And it's just incredible to watch the growth of this program, the amount of students who want to become world changers and innovators and take it back to their small town community is incredibly inspiring on its own. And I think Paul would just continue to be amazed by the impact that he's made.
Yeah, and I mean, Paul said that this was what he was the most proud of. For you, like once you're out of the Engler program, 20 years from now, what will you be the most proud of from being in the Engler program, and what will you be most thankful for?
That's a big question,
yeah,
too.
it is a big question.
Big question. I would say most proud of, so Engler is definitely the thing that I'm most involved in on campus. And the thing I'm most proud of is probably just be those individual connections I have with other members, like being able to help motivate them and give them the resources to help fulfill their passions and dreams is definite. And that's not something that ends after I leave, after 4 years. Like, I want to continue to give back and come back to Fireside where I can mentor students or just serve as a resource to anybody, because it doesn't end after 4 years. Like, you can still be an active alumni. That was a big question. What was the other part of that?
What will you be the most thankful for?
Thankful for?
Yeah.
I would definitely, like, if I didn't know the Engler program, I would graduate, go to a full-time job, like, live my happy life inside of the 4 walls of whichever job I decide to take. But since coming to the Engler program, I realized, like, you don't have to follow that status quo. You don't have to go down the same path everybody else has to go down. You can actually take time and give effort and carve that path out for yourself. So I'm most thankful for my mentors and cheerleaders here in the Engler space. And that ranges from staff to the students that were seniors when I was a freshman to even the freshmen when I'm a senior. Like, you can have coaches, cheerleaders, mentors, like, of all ages, and just being able to have that community with open arms to cheer you along your way I'm just incredibly thankful for it.
Yeah, you have such an amazing story. I loved hearing about it, even learning stuff I didn't even know before. I loved learning more about your story. Thanks for being here, Madison.
Yeah, thank you so much, Olivia.